Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your primetime destination news. Newsmakers talking points. The big talking point this Friday night. Will sacking the Manipur Chief Minister finally end the bloody conflict in the state? Is President's rule in Manipur a solution to the crisis? Also, crimes against women in opposition-ruled state, should they be also looked at? All that and more coming up. But tonight, our focus remains on Manipur, a state that has been scarred, whose images have shocked the nation. It's a state that remains on the edge more than 2 months of ethnic conflict. Now, 2 days after that video of the two Kuki Zomi community women being stripped naked, paraded on the streets, one of them gang rape, surfaced on social media, residents in the village in Manipur where this took place are up in arms, demanding justice to the victims as well as demanding a respite from the ongoing ethnic violence which has claimed several lives so far. Our correspondent Ritwik Mondal and Ashutosh Mishra are on ground zero. They send you tonight's ground report.
May 4th, two women were snatched from police protection, stripped naked and paraded in Phainom village. One of them gang raped. The video of the incident that went viral over 2 months later has shocked and shamed the nation. India Today visited the spot where the horrific crime took place at a small distance from a police station.
On that day, two ladies were, they were paraded naked on this road. Particularly, this road takes you through and to that particular village over the top of the hill. We are given to understand this particular police station, which seems like a big one and which is very close, it is very close from the area.
After the video surfaced, women in large numbers are staging protest in Churachandpur, one of the towns worst hit by the clashes.
We can see that women dressed in black and in large number they are staging protests, demanding justice for the things what unfolded in Manipur. And these are the voice what we are getting in this area. They are sick for peace. They are sick. They are looking forward for a better future.
The ethnic clashes that erupted on May 3rd after the Manipur High Court directed inclusion of the Meitei community in scheduled tribes has killed over 100 people. The Meitei and Kuki communities are sharply divided and there is no sight of peace.
All the Meitei community, we condemn this incident. We condemn this incident. That's why even the mob, the Meitei mob, burned down the house of that accused guy yesterday. That means no one support this kind of idea. But we were so unfortunate that the PM of the country has singled out this incident.
Belonging from one community going to the areas which are dominated by other community, has it been really difficult even for the journalists to enter and report to bring out the ground realities?
Yeah. For journalists, we have faced a lot of difficulties. We cannot go to any Kuki-dominated area because even some journalists were beaten up and threatened to be killed.
The conflict between Meiteis and Kukis has existed for a very long time. The clashes this year have further deepened the divide. With Ritwik Mondal and Ashutosh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now that is happening on ground zero, the protests that are taking place among women in Churachandpur. But in Parliament, the opposition is up in arms against the centre. They're asking for a debate and a statement by the Prime Minister inside Parliament. The centre says it's ready to debate but pins the blame on the opposition for stalling the House. The BJP is also accusing the opposition of ignoring crimes in states they govern. Tonight's other big story comes from Parliament.
Manipur horror rocks Parliament. 2 days after a video of two Kuki Zomi women being paraded naked went viral, the opposition is gunning for the Narendra Modi government. The government offered a debate on the ethnic riots in Manipur, but the opposition is insisting on a statement by Prime Minister inside the House first.
हम चाहते हैं कि मणिपुर की घटना पर संसद में चर्चा हो। मैंने ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग में स्वयं भी इस बात को कहा है और आज मैं फिर से सदन में दोहराना चाहता हूं कि हम चाहते हैं कि मणिपुर की घटना पर संसद में चर्चा होनी चाहिए। लेकिन मैं देख रहा हूं कि कुछ ऐसे राजनीतिक दल हैं जो कि अनावश्यक यहाँ पर ऐसी स्थिति पैदा करना चाहते हैं ताकि किसी भी सूरत में मणिपुर की घटना पर चर्चा न हो पाए।
गवर्नमेंट इस विषय पे चर्चा करना चाहिए क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री जी खुद एक बयान देना हमारा डिमांड है और बयान देने के बाद उसके ऊपर चर्चा होना।
Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha were adjourned following the protests. The face-off between the government and the opposition continued outside Parliament.
कोई डेमोक्रेसी नहीं रहेगा, कोई माँ बहन का इज्जत नहीं रहेगा।
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee hit out at the Modi government at the TMC's Martyrs rally in Kolkata.
मणिपुरे जा चलছে जो चल रहा है, बेटी बचाओ स्लोगन दिया ने आप लोगों ने। भाजपा कहाँ गया आपका बेटी बचाओ स्लोगन? आज बेटी जला रहा है, आज बेटी जल रहा है, आज मणिपुर जल रहा है, आज पूरा देश जल रहा है। ममता बनर्जी 21 जुलाई मना रहे हैं, गाना करके शहीद दिवस गाना बजा के।
The BJP accused the Mamata government of inaction in a similar case during Panchayat elections when a woman was allegedly disrobed and paraded. Party MP Loket Chatterjee broke down while demanding action.
हमारा बेटियां लोग को बचा ले। एक के बाद एक घटना घट रही है, लेकिन पश्चिम बंगाल का मुख्यमंत्री महिला होके भी चुप है। आप लोग बोलिए हम लोग कहां जाएंगे? हम लोग भी महिला है, हम लोग भी चाहते हैं कि हमारा बेटियों लोग को बचा ले।
The Bengal police clarified an FIR was filed after the BJP sent a complaint by email on July 14th, but there is no proof to back the charge. While the horrific viral video from Manipur gave a picture of the horrors suffered by the people of the state, the competitive politics over the issue threatens to shift the focus from the northeastern state ravaged by ethnic violence. Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's raise the big questions on our political face-off first. Will removing the Manipur Chief Minister Biren Singh end the conflict in Manipur? Is President's rule a real solution? What about violence against women that takes place in opposition-ruled states? Are BJP and Centre now on the back foot over Manipur? Some of the questions we'll raise. Aparajita Sarangi is BJP MP. JB Mathur is Congress MP and Sushmita Dev is Trinamool Congress MP. I want to come to you, Aparajita Sarangi, because it appears now that instead of ensuring justice in Manipur, 77 days and it took a viral video for the government to wake up in Imphal and for the Prime Minister to break his silence, the BJP now is saying, what about opposition-ruled states? Now, are we going to see a whataboutery now engaging even when it is such a gruesome crime of the kind we've seen in Manipur? Every crime against women needs to be resolved, but first justice needs to be provided to those Manipur women who for 77 days, even no arrests were being made. It took a viral video, Supreme Court intervention, ma'am, for even the first arrest to be made. You've been a former IAS officer. Do you admit that the system went wrong? Why blame someone, the other parties? That can happen later. First, give justice in Manipur.
A very good evening. At the outset, let me tell you that
ma'am.
whatever has happened in Manipur should not have happened. Very unfortunate. And there can be absolutely no mercy to be shown anywhere. And whosoever is the culprit is being booked and will be booked. In fact, we have heard Honorable Prime Minister yesterday, he said his heart was filled with pain as well as anger. and there'd be no mercy for those who have committed this crime, and there would be no compromise at all, and we would be going against all these people all the while in the days to come. But at the same time, let me tell you that to think that the central government and the state government have not been putting in efforts is absolutely far from the truth. See, I remember on 3rd May or 4th May when this incident happened, 55 columns of the army had been deployed. And the Indian army that very night rescued about 9,000 people and ensured their safety. And so far, in fact, 50,000 people have been evacuated by the paramilitary forces, and they have been given safe passage, shelter and food and everything, and the medicines. In fact, let me tell you that Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah ji himself went to Manipur, camped there for a couple of days from 29th May to 1st June, and he ensured that he met people from all segments of society. He had a Sarvdaliya Baitak too, and he met representatives from 11 political parties. He tried to assuage the feelings of all. About 40 IPS officers have been deployed. So I think all steps that had to be taken by the government have been taken, and government is extremely serious about it. You know, 4 people have been arrested.
Ma'am, you've given, ma'am, but you haven't answered my question. 77 days, a viral video comes out. The FIR, the zero FIR was filed on the 18th of May for an incident of 4th of May. There was a regular FIR filed on 21st of June. Only when the viral video comes out on 19th, there are arrests. The Chief Minister of the state is the Home Minister. Are you telling me, ma'am, seriously, you, as I said, have been an IAS officer, are you telling me that the Home Ministry in Imphal did not know what had happened in this particular instance, and that they chose not to make arrests? The truth is that when it has involved a particular community, the Chief Minister has been seen to be partisan. Should such a person remain in office?
Now, I must tell you very candidly one thing. At this juncture, to remove the Chief Minister is not the solution. Let's accept that. In the days to come, what will happen will definitely be decided by the central government. But at this juncture, when there is so much of instability, we do not want further instability by removing the Chief Minister. We have to ensure that all of us work collectively.
Even if he has failed. Even if he has failed to provide what every citizen deserves, which is half-decent governance.
Listen to me. Please listen to me. At this juncture, very critical juncture we are at, we need to work collectively, and we need to, we should not point fingers at each other. Now, here is an opposition. To my mind, they do not want the solution to the problem. They're not serious about what has happened in Manipur. And I can surely say that because I have been sitting in the Lok Sabha for the past 2 days. We have been telling them to have a debate on the matter. We want to speak. Our Home Minister wants to make a statement. Our Home Minister wants to actually state as to what punitive actions have been taken so far and what preventive actions had been taken. But are these people allowing us to speak? So I think these people are not at all serious about what has happened in Manipur. Let's accept that. See, there's something...
Okay, so you're saying you believe this is not the right time to remove the Chief Minister.
Absolutely.
The situation is still unstable, and you're accusing the opposition of politicizing the issue in Parliament. Now, you are politicians, but JB Mathen, respond. It seems that the opposition has a single point agenda at the moment. Prime Minister Modi must speak inside Parliament. He has already spoken outside yesterday, but you want him to speak inside Parliament and thereby blame him for what has happened in Manipur. Should the first focus not be on Chief Minister Biren Singh? Is your entire debate in Parliament premised on the fact that you want the Prime Minister to speak? Aparajita Sarangi saying Home Minister Amit Shah is ready to speak. Isn't that good enough?
Rajdeep, see, there are few facts which is very clear in front of the nation. We need not repeat, but still, let me place it very clearly that for the past 80 days, Manipur is burning. Second thing is, Biren Singh has been a total failure. His statements, his stand, his actions, his inactions, everything, he himself is the problem. See, that all this, nobody is disputing. it is very clear that it has been very shameful and very ridiculous and very irresponsible. Now, what are we asking? We are asking for two things. Why? Because Prime Minister, who is supposed to be the responsible person, he has not said anything about Manipur except for when he has been under pressure yesterday. 30 seconds. Imagine on such a when Manipur has been burning for 80 days. My Prime Minister spoke for 30 seconds and he is trying to politicize this again by bringing in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. Are there 50,000 people living in camps in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh? Are there issues like what is happening in Manipur in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh? He doesn't say anything. So we are demanding definitely Prime Minister should make a detailed statement. Secondly, we are asking,
but why the Home Minister, ma'am, Home Minister Amit Shah is in charge. Law and order is a state subject, so Biren Singh has to respond in Imphal. Amit Shah is the country's Home Minister. The government says Amit Shah is ready to speak. Why do you want only Narendra Modi to speak?
We clearly want Prime Minister to speak on this because this cannot be diluted to a state issue. This is a very big issue and the whole nation and the world is looking at it. So why can't the Prime Minister speak on it? Why can't he come to the Parliament and speak on it? Secondly, Madam was saying about we are the ones who are not allowing discussions in the Parliament. Excuse me, we want to make it very clear. See, opposition, opposition has been asking for discussion. Now, if we are taking Rajya Sabha, we have been asking under Rule 267. 267 means everything will be set apart and the discussion will be totally on that subject, which is currently now the burning issue of Manipur. But those in governance, they want to do it in Rule 176, which will be only 2-3 people speaking. They want to dilute the issue. And why should we agree for that? We don't want to agree for that. We want serious discussion and deliberations on Manipur, and it is those in government running away from discussion. We don't want that. Let that to happen. Let us discuss. Let us celebrate. Let Prime Minister speak.
Okay. You want a full debate on Manipur without any restrictions. Sushmita Dev, you actually went to Manipur as part of a TMC delegation earlier this week. I want to understand from you, Sushmita Dev, is the Trinamool Congress also? Mamta Banerjee has raised the issue today at your Martyrs rally in Kolkata, saying where is Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao? The BJP saying look at Bengal. They claim that their workers have been sexually harassed. They insist that there are cases of rape that have not been registered by your government. Let's be clear. Are we focused? Is the Trinamool Congress also looking at this issue to nail Prime Minister Modi? Is this all about Prime Minister Modi now, or should it first be about the state government?
It's very simple that in a democracy, in a situation like this, it's about accountability. And when we talk of accountability, yes, it is the state government and law and order depends on the state government. But look at the gravity of the situation. Rajdeep, huge weaponization has happened in Manipur. The divide between two factions almost seems irreversible. There is curfew in 90% of the areas in Manipur. In a situation like this where the entire country is turning to Manipur to see what's happened, if a Prime Minister who can campaign day and night when it comes to getting votes from various state elections, there is no reason why he should not speak on this topic in the Parliament. Today, a Prime Minister doesn't become any smaller or he's not belittled when he speaks on an important issue. In fact, he gives, by talking on an issue, he tells the nation that he's bothered, he tells the nation that he cares about that state. And
but he's already spoken outside, he says. The government says, ma'am, the Prime Minister has spoken outside. Inside Parliament, Home Minister Shah will speak.
Are you comparing a bite? Are you comparing a sound bite on television to what happens inside the Parliament in a democracy? Is there no difference between the two things? It's like saying he's speaking on the radio on Manipur, so he need not speak in Parliament. That's no argument. That is absolutely no argument. This is a parliamentary system in which we have the right to ask questions to the Prime Minister's office apart from the other Council of Ministers. There is no comparison
Okay,
between going in front of a television and a TV.
You know, the fact, Aparajita Sarangi, from taking up from what Sushmita Dev is saying, the fact is the Prime Minister needs to tell us what his views are. Manipur ki baat karo. According to the opposition, enough of Man ki baat, time for Manipur ki baat. For 77 days, let's be honest, it required a viral video for the Prime Minister also to speak. He wasn't otherwise even going to speak. I mean, the truth of the matter is that he is the country's #1 leader. Should the country's #1 leader not speak when a border state has been facing ethnic violence for 2 months? As we've now seen, there have been horrific crimes committed against Kukis, against Meiteis also. No one is saying this is Kuki, that only one community has suffered. But the truth is the PM needs to speak and provide the healing touch. Why is the Prime Minister running away from a debate on Manipur? Or Amit Shah can conclude it, but the Prime Minister can start it.
See, let me tell you very candidly that people from, or rather the leaders from West Bengal do not have the moral authority to speak about violence against women. On 8th of July, in fact, a particular woman who was BJP candidate during the Panchayat poll had been paraded naked in Panchala area near Howrah. 2 days back, I was in Paschim Bengal as part of the team of about 5 MPs to see as to what kind of violence has been meted out against women during Panchayat polls. And you have to see to believe what kind of horror, what kind of situation they are in. So I think West Bengal Chief Minister and West Bengal spokespersons, when they speak, I think it seems ridiculous. This is one.
No, they have to answer on West Bengal, but you have to answer on Manipur, ma'am. You know, the problem seems to be every time you are asked a question on Manipur, you talk about Chhattisgarh, you talk about Rajasthan. The fact is, the viral, it's your government. I'll come to Bengal in a moment. I'll come to Bengal in a moment. My point to you, Aparajita Sarangi, is very simple. Who is accountable according to you for, I say it for the 3rd time, you've been a former IAS officer. Who is accountable when law and order breaks down in a state of the manner it has in Manipur, where the police hands over, let's be clear, the police is allegedly handing over these people to the mob, where it has gone on for 77 days. Let's not compare.
Rajiv, when the government says it wants to speak on the floor of the House, in the Parliament, don't you think the government is showing that it is accountable? We are accountable. We feel accountable. And in fact, that's why we want to make a statement. Our Home Minister, who is not only in charge of the law and order machinery of the country, he is also in charge of the northeastern states. He's also the Minister of Donor. And for that matter, he wants to make a statement and there has to be a debate.
Ma'am, your Chief Minister stages a resignation drama 3 weeks ago, says I'm resigning in the morning, then says people don't want to be me to resign, shows some letter written by some activist. I mean, is this the way that a state runs? Let's be very clear, ma'am. The buck must surely stop in this case. The buck must stop with Viren Singh.
I must tell you that here is a government which wants to have discussion on Manipur matter in the Parliament. Now, these opposition parties are not serious about what's happening in Manipur. They do not want to discuss about the violence against women because they know that there are many skeletons in their cupboard and they will all start tumbling out. So
but it's not just about discussion, ma'am, it's about accountability. Ma'am, it's about accountability, it's not just about a discussion.
I fully agree.
So who's going to be held accountable?
And that is why I must tell you that Manipur is limping back to normalcy. I have the figure. Out of 4,617 schools today, except 96, all have rung the morning bells. Let's remember this. Things are actually, coming to normalcy, and we must accept that huge number of arms have been recovered. And all kinds of steps that had to be taken have been taken. Honorable Home Minister has been planning, instructing and coordinating all the activities there. So let's have faith in the government. Let's have faith in the administrative setup. We are doing our bit.
I wish the people, ma'am, I take your point, but Ma'am, I take your point, but I wish the people of Manipur, at the end of the day, it's the people who have lost faith. It's not about you and me, but Sushmita Dev, the point that is being repeatedly made, I want to play out today. There is a activist of the BJP who claims she was sexually harassed during the recent Panchayat poll. She's angry. You've seen Locket Chatterjee bursting into tears, the BJP MP from Bengal. Just listen into what was said by one of those workers of the BJP, and then I want you to respond, Sushmita Dev.
হ্যাঁ আমি অভিযোগ করেছি অভিযোগ করার মধ্যে বলতে আর সেদিন 8 জুলাই ভোট কেন্দ্র মানে 11টা থেকে প্রচুর ঝামেলা হচ্ছিল তো ঝামেলার পদক্ষেপে মানে আমি বুথে তো ছিলাম তো আমি বিজেপি প্রার্থী ছিলাম বুথে থাকার ফলে আমার চুলের মুঠিটা ধরে ওই যে স্কুলের যে সিঁড়ি আছে ওখান থেকে আমাকে ঠেলে ফেলে দেয় দিয়ে আমার চুলের মুঠিটা ধরে শাড়িটা ধরে টানে টিএমসির লোকেরা তো ওরা করে ভোট কেন্দ্রে যেসব আশপাশে যেসব ঘরগুলো ছিল প্রচুর ভাঙচুর হয়েছে
Sushmita Dev, you want to respond? This has been a running theme that in Bengal since the 2021 victory of Mamata Banerjee, according to the BJP, their workers, including women, have been targeted, and there the Bengal police does not act swiftly enough. Respond to this. If you want to take the moral high ground, your house should be clean.
Rajdeep, I have no interest in scoring any brownie points or taking a moral high ground. Let me tell you something. That I went to Manipur and the people of Manipur, every faction is saying they have absolutely no confidence in the Chief Minister. Lot of fact-finding committees have gone to Bengal. I request the Honorable Member of Parliament from BJP who's claiming that Manipur is normal. Take that same fact-finding committee to Manipur tomorrow and go and see what's happening. If there's been violence in Bengal, if there is a problem during elections that has been shown, that can be debated on another day. The police has already given a statement. But I request the BJP, if you truly believe that women anywhere in the country, any state in the country should not be treated the way they do, then please send one fact-finding committee to Manipur tomorrow. There is curfew in the value, and Madam is saying that things are back to normal. Every faction is saying we do not want Biren Singh. Rajdeep, go visit Manipur. It's not about what Sushmita Dev is saying or what JB Matter is saying. Today, if JB wants, she can say how many Congress workers have been killed by the left in Kerala. But this debate is not about that. It's not about shifting goalposts. Manipur is burning, and let me tell you, BJP government is absolutely clueless. To say that the Home Minister went there for 3 days and sat there for 3 days until today the situation is bad only further proves our point that BJP has absolutely no idea how to solve the Manipur situation. And that is the harsh reality.
Let me leave it there. Those are very strong words coming in. The word I keep using is accountability. Someone has to be held accountable. Whether the Prime Minister speaks or not in Parliament is at the end of the day up to Prime Minister Modi to decide. But the full debate on Manipur is in the interest of the country. That's why you are members of Parliament, so that you debate and discuss. That's what this country wants to know. Who will be held accountable? Kiski jawabdehi hai Manipur mein? Aparna Sarangi, Sushmita Dev and JB Mathur, I appreciate your joining me here on our top talking point. And I want to turn to Manipur once again, because what's happened there is not just accountability of the police and political leadership. The accountability also needs to extend to state women bodies. Now, it has been found that the National Commission for Women had been sent a complaint on this May 4th horrific incident last month itself. But the panel never really took action against it. In fact, it wasn't even acknowledged. The NCW chief, reacting to that India Today story, claimed she forwarded the complaint to the Manipur police. Is this simply a post office that the NCW has become? That's our other report.
India's women rights watchdog, set up as a statutory body in 1992 under a national law. The National Commission for Women has been mandated to investigate cases related to the safeguards provided for women under the Constitution and other legislation. The NCW is empowered to take up violations with authorities, take suo motu cognizance of such cases, and recommend strict enforcement. But in the case of complaints coming in from Manipur in general, and the naked parading of these women and the alleged gang rape of one of them in particular, the NCW seems to have fallen far short of fulfilling its most fundamental responsibilities. A complaint addressed to its chief sent on June 12th reported 3 cases of alleged sexual assault. The complaint mentioned the May 4th episode, whose video surfaced on Wednesday and left the nation stunned. When confronted by India Today about what the NCW did with that SOS, its chairperson admitted it wasn't given any special attention, and that like many other complaints, it was sent to the state government for verification. Listen in.
We are in touch with the officers from Manipur.
Don't you think there's a serious lapse in this case? You take a suo motu cognizance of a viral video, while the June 12th letter very clearly mentions each and every horrific detail, saying that these 2 women are still at the relief camp in Manipur.
See, there were many complaints. Again and again I am saying there was not a specific complaint, one specific. There were many complaints, and that too from people outside India and outside Manipur. So we just wrote, firstly they had to clarify whether whatever is written is true or not. So they have to clarify, the government of Manipur has to clarify. And if it is true, they have to work on it. So accordingly we wrote to them.
Authorized by law to investigate and examine such cases, the NCW, however, did not exercise that option either to probe a complaint as serious as the May 4th incident on its own. Rekha Sharma admitted the body sent no delegation to Manipur because of the volatile situation.
Do you think a delegation can go there at this situation, situation?
Was an attempt made at all?
No, we didn't. We didn't. Because, no, we did not send a delegation because ground realities everybody knows.
आपके पास 15 मई को मैम रेखा मैम 15 मई को रेखा मैम 15 मई को जो 18 साल की लड़की के साथ जो रेप की बात कही जा रही है, उस केस में नागालैंड में मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन होता है. आप मणिपुर नहीं जा सकते थे, आपका डेलीगेशन नागालैंड तो जा सकता था.
See, whatever I had to say, I've said. I'm sorry, whatever I have to say, we have said.
Rekha Sharma insisted she did dial the Manipur Chief Minister, Biren Singh now, a national watchdog found wanting during a crisis in India's northeast.
The National Commission of Women Chairperson Rekha Sharma accepts on camera that the Chief Secretary and DG of Manipur are not responding to the letters being sent by the NCW, and that she has spoken to the Manipur Chief Minister and Biren Singh. But India Today's exclusive access to the complaint letter that was sent to NCW on June 12th exposes the top women's rights bodies in action in this particular matter. With video journalist Abhishek Singh, this is Amit Bhardwaj reporting for India Today from Delhi.
So have women bodies like the NCW simply failed the citizens of Manipur? Did the police prove a big failure in failing to protect these women and their dignity? Is it tough to prosecute and convict in gang rape cases like Manipur where the viral videos come out? Joining me now is Miran Chadda Borwankar, former Police Commissioner Pune and one of Maharashtra's leading police officers. Aparna Bhatt is advocate at the Supreme Court. We hope to be joined shortly by Lalita Kumaramangalam, former NCW chief. To you, Miran Chadda Borwankar, you know, it appears to me at the moment that the system has collapsed. The state has failed, that it takes an FIR to be filed weeks after a horrific incident like this takes place, and then arrests only take place when the video goes viral. As a police officer, what's your sense? Do you believe that the police is primarily responsible, that the culpability must be at the police leadership level first?
Yes, I agree. I agree to the fact that the state has failed. There is no doubt about it. But yes, especially when the allegation is that the ladies were handed over to the mob by some policemen, though it's not verified as such. But I agree that the first responsibility for protection of citizens and for the protection of the dignity of women, it's the police I would hold responsible.
So you are saying that the police leadership in that sense, do you believe though that the police leadership will work without some element of political patronage to those involved in such ghastly crimes who believe with impunity that they could get away?
No, I would say that police does get influenced in day-to-day policing, but when it comes to grave crimes like this, then there is no political pressure. I feel that Manipur police is in a turmoil itself. The state is in a turmoil. I don't consider that there would be any political pressure not to register this case or not to investigate this case.
So what you are saying is it's the police on the ground which clearly failed to act swiftly enough. Aparna Bhatt, given that it took 77 days, now we've had these 4 arrests. Do you believe that this case can be prosecuted and taken to its logical conclusion? We've seen in the past, there are cases, particularly when there are communal riots or violence when it takes place on scale, people often say unknown people did it. And then it becomes difficult to identify the culprits when several weeks have elapsed and people tend to get away. That's been the history whenever we've seen a case of mass violence.
Let me answer it like this. In my opinion, those people can be prosecuted. There can be conviction which will be upheld by even higher courts. It is possible. But the moot question here also is that now that the video is viral, we're talking about this incident. It is not as if it is not reported in the mainstream media, at least in some of the media, digital media, it's been reported that there have been multiple cases of sexual violence and women were hesitating to file a complaint. I would ask you, and I would ask you to raise this issue, that what action has been taken in all those cases? That is one. Secondly, whenever a violence of this nature happens and people are in relief camps and people are vulnerable physically, economically, socially, in every possible sense, we have to expect that there will be very gruesome case of sexual violence. What action has been taken by all institutions to protect women? Even today, who has gone there to talk to them? What is the safety that's available to them? You know, it's one thing to talk of prosecution. How will a prosecutrix go and depose in the court if she's not safe? If she doesn't feel that she'll be safe in the future as well? And what kind of support does she and her family have? These are some of the questions that everyone has to answer, and most importantly, the state government has to answer. What protection have they given to these women? Because I was reading some articles sometime in July, that early July. Ajahn.
Sure.
Yes, please.
You know, Aparna,
yeah,
I just want to tell our viewers, I've just got a thing. Lalita Kumaramanglam, former NCW chief, has reportedly backed out. Now look at this. The NCW, this is the former chairperson of the NCW. The truth of the matter is, NCW, and that was our story, was a complaint was filed. This is the same NCW which will immediately act if an opposition leader in particular makes any comment which is seen to have sexual undertones. They will immediately go for him. Good for them. But here is a case where 2 women have been paraded naked in a village and sexual assault allegedly against one of them, their family members murdered. The complaint is sent to the NCW. What does the NCW do? Act like a post office and send it to the Manipur government. Makes no comments about it till this viral video has exposed them. So they knew about it. Viewers, please understand, the NCW knew about this in June. They were aware of what was happening in Manipur, the instance of sexual violence. Where does that leave these government bodies, Biran Borwarkar? You've been a former police officer yourself. What does this say? That the NCW is only there as a post office in this country? That what is this National Commission of Women? And as Aparna Bhatt says, where are the state women bodies which will act for and protect women in Manipur today?
So Rajdeep, I've been watching the performance of various women commissions, not only at the national level, but at the state levels. I would say they are definitely not working professionally. Sometimes that they're headless for long. I don't think governments are serious in giving teeth to these organizations, and they are headed by political appointees who are not very proficient in either dealing with crime against women or with the issues about women. Can I use the word? I really feel that women commissions are gungi gudiyas. Sorry.
No, you're using the right word. You have hit the nail hard on the head. Women commissions in this country are gungi gudiyas, for most of them. They simply do not wake up to when crimes take place. Aparna, but are courts also gungi gudiyas? We saw the Supreme Court, Justice Chandrachud speak with great fire and passion yesterday about it. Do you believe that the courts of this country will provide justice? Bilkis Bano is knocking on your doors. The women wrestlers are knocking on the doors of the courts now. Do you believe that they will be provided justice in general? Are our courts gender sensitive, and will they go all out to ensure that the culprits in any state of the country, forget BJP or Congress rule, forget the whataboutery, that they will act?
You know, whether the courts are sensitive, not sensitive, it's for everyone to see, and we will know what's going to happen. I want to raise something more critical, I feel, and it's very important. We're talking about this video now because it's out in the social media and people know about it. But as I was saying earlier, there are many women who've been sexually assaulted. Many of them have not gone to the police till now to report. So why are they not reporting? Obviously, the environment there is not conducive for people to report. That is one. And secondly, people don't feel safe enough. And people also don't think that the fate of those reports will be anything worthwhile for them to do. I also want to add here that when a violence of this nature happens, we have to expect that there will be sexual violence. So statutory bodies and the law enforcement will have to take preemptive action to make sure these incidents don't happen. And I don't think that has taken place at all. Even today, have these women been moved to a place of safety? How safe are they? These are all questions that one has to ask. While the Women's Commission cannot prosecute a case, they surely can intervene in providing these kind of support structures for women. We have the statute supporting this. We have laws, and I believe one of them is a young person. The POCSO Act comes into force. They have to act immediately and take these people and provide them a safe space, find out from them what is it that they need. Have they got medical help? What is their medical condition today? These are so many questions that have been asked, and I think it's very unfortunate that we're talking about this viral video alone. We have to raise a larger issue.
Ma'am, the fact is our NCW has not even turned its eye on Manipur. The NCW as Miran Borwankar rightly puts it on my show today, a gungi gudiya. I mean, these are all appointees of the government on taxpayers' money. You're running a women's commission. When women are paraded naked, complaint is filed and you don't act on it. You treat yourself like a post office. And when we ask you to come on our shows, you don't even want to take our questions, Rekha Sharma and Lalita Kumaramangalam. As a former NCW chairperson who had agreed to come on the show, you should now ask yourself, what are you embarrassed about? Why is it that this has become so embarrassing? Miran Borwankar, therefore, in conclusion, how do we, the citizens who feel angry and helpless today, respond in your view? What can we do?
While we are agitating all over the country, another course of action is that we directly take up these cases with the magistrates and with the courts. So if we are not able to access police, and if police as an organization, as a department is not responding, we can lodge our cases directly with the magistrates. I think that action plus use of social media, and also keep writing to the government, and in case of women who have been harassed, there can be medical evidence if they immediately go to the hospital. I think that also should be availed. And then keeping these videos, they have to be authenticated in the court later on. Our emphasis should be not only for quick registration, either at the police or reporting to the magistrates, but also medical evidence and authentication of electronic evidence like these videos.
Well, for now, I hope someone is waking up. We've had enough of gungi gudiyas in some of our national bodies. Your National Commission for Women is supposed to be there, out there, to raise their voice for women. When women are paraded naked and are gang raped, if they cannot wake up, they should not be there. We don't need a National Commission for Women which becomes a National Commission for inaction. Enough is enough. The people of this country deserve far better. The women of India and the people of India deserve much better than what we've seen. The police, the political leadership has completely failed when it comes to these issues. Unfortunately, Manipur therefore represents the darker side of what happens in our country. I appreciate my guests joining me. You are with the news today. Let's turn to the tragic story that's taken place in Raigad in Maharashtra, where heavy rainfall resulted in a landslide that has crushed the lives of several people. 21 people are dead. Several others are buried under the debris. It's our ground report today.
A race against time. Many villagers still feared trapped under the debris in landslide-hit Irshalwadi village in Maharashtra's Raigad district. The NDRF and state police officials are carrying out search and rescue operations, but because of unstable terrain in the area, rescue teams cannot use heavy machines.
कैनाल और फिजिकली दो ही सर्च करना हमारे लिए संभव हो पा रहा है। ट्रैक तो लंबा है, ये तो अपने आप में चैलेंज है। ऊपर से प्रकृति का कहर आती रहती है, बारिश वो भी है, लेकिन इस चैलेंजेज में हमें अपने आप को सिखाया गया किस प्रकार से अपने आप को हम ढाल के किसी भी घटित घटनाओं को अंजाम को तक पहुंचाना है। ये हमें बेहतरीन ढंग से हमें प्रशिक्षण दिया जाता है और उसमें हम माहिर हैं और हम करते भी हैं सर।
Incessant rainfall and hilly terrain have made rescue work extremely challenging.
These people you can see behind me are engaged in rescue and relief operations where they're carrying water, food and medicines for the Jawans of the NDRF and the SDRF. Besides them, the fire brigade, the home guards and several other private mountaineering groups have been involved in the rescue operations. In a sense, just to give you an idea, if you can see the large group coming from there, that's the kind of difficult terrain one has to go through.
46 houses in the village are affected by the landslide. Over 20 are submerged in the mud. Most people were asleep when the landslide took place, leaving many dead or trapped in the debris.
स्थानिक लोक आहेत ती सर्वत्र मदत करतात. इथं म्हणजे उद्योजक आहेत काय आहेत, काल सर्व आमच्या गाववासियांनी चौक बंदची हाक मारली, त्याला उत्स्फूर्त प्रतिसाद दिला आणि या माणसांचं आमचं ऋण आहे काहीतरी, कारण की यांच्या कष्टाशिवाय चौक हा बसू शकत नाही.
त्यांना काहीतरी मोठा आवाज झाल्यामुळे ते ताबडतोब बाहेर पळाले शाळेतून. पाहता तर मागच्या बाजूला संपूर्ण डोंगर खाली आला होता. तीच काही मुलं बचावली. 4-5 घरं जी सुरुवातीची होती ती बचावली आणि मासेमारीसाठी काही इथली जी स्थानिक लोक बाहेर गेली होती ती काहीतरी थोडीफार प्रमाणात बचावलीत. बाकी गाव पूर्ण पाण्याखाली गाडलेलं आहे.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde has announced an ex gratia of 5 lakh rupees for the families of those who lost their lives in this tragic unfolding incident. Bureau Report, India Today.
Tragic story there from Raigad in Maharashtra. But let's leave you with something happier, because this is a wonderful country. We are all shocked and outraged by what's happened in Manipur, to our Manipur citizens, to our women. But there is some good news for our women as well, because the IIT Chennai or IIT Madras is now going to have an international campus in Zanzibar. And this time the director is a first, a woman who will be leading the IIT there. First IIT abroad, first IIT woman director. There is always good news to report in this wonderful country. We always show you India, good, bad and ugly on the news today. Watch this story. You stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.
The Indian Institute of Technology, the country's premier engineering college, is going overseas. IIT Madras is setting up its first ever international campus in Zanzibar in Tanzania. Professor Preeti Aghalayam, an IIT graduate herself, will be the director of the institute. The first time a woman has been appointed to the top post at IIT Madras.
The type of opportunities women have and the type of aspirations that we can hope for while being on campus have improved dramatically. I know that it's possible as long as we work together as a team and ensuring that when they graduate with our degree far away in Zanzibar, they have the whole world open to them.
Classes at the IIT Madras Zanzibar campus will begin from October with a student intake of 70. According to the IIT, 2 full-time programs will be offered in Zanzibar, a 4-year BSc in Data Science and Artificial Intelligence and a 2-year MTech in Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. The admission process will include screening test and interview.
We have a temporary campus right now that the government has allotted to us. The rooms are all built, so the administrative side, classrooms and also student accommodation, shared accommodation in dorms, everything is there already. We are facilitating a few modifications so that it will be 100% ready in October, which is when we are planning to start. But we are going to evolve the academic plan and have a lot more programs in the coming years as well.
The international campus in Zanzibar Island off the East African mainland is planned as an educational partnership between India and Tanzania. India is also offering scholarships for citizens of Tanzania to study in various degree programs at IIT Madras.
I believe that this educational bond will ensure that we stay strong, and it's a strategic kind of move. It could be a strategic move for the country. We'll have Zanzibari Tanzanian alumni who are from IIT Madras. They do so many good things in terms of contribution to the world and to the world's economy. We hope that this will happen over here as well.
With Shilpa Nair, Bureau Report, India Today.